back to another episode of the Platoon Baseball Podcast. Today I'm joined by Brady Averly because we have no Chris Sathy this week. But how are we doing, Brady?
Pretty good. I have yourself.
Doing good. Baseball's back. Got a full
It's
weekend
back.
under our belt. I feel
And
like it's been an exciting weekend of baseball, maybe more so than other years, just because we have new rule changes that have been controversial. But I think the overwhelming majority of people do like the change. There have still been some moments that maybe need to be worked out.
we had our first ejection from the
Yeah.
ABS challenge this week.
Yeah, I knew there's gonna be some bullshit going on with the problem is the subjectiveness of the immediacy that the challenge needs to be made.
Yep.
Like the problem was Ryan Helsley supposedly didn't do it soon enough. And after watching the video back, he did it right away, but the ump didn't see it. So Helsley had to do it again and then he called it, which is why the Twins manager got thrown out. But
I think we're going to see a lot of that this year.
yeah.
But on the bright side, no Chris here. You know what that means. Toronto Blue Jays deep dive.
All right. We could start with the Blue Jays. We'll start with 50 strikeouts, most
New
ever
record.
by a team through the first three games of the season. You know what else that means? The Athletics now on the record for the most strikeouts in the first three games of the season. A
uh,
great hitting lineup with the A's, but not a good weekend. Really only two contact guys in that starting lineup in McNeil and Wilson, and even
and
they did
Wilson,
not have a good weekend.
I want to say Wilson had, I think he had 5 strikeouts on the weekend himself.
I believe he had one hit, which was a double in the final game of the series.
Uh,
I think that
you
was the
know
only
that
hit.
that A's team, I think they'll figure it out. I
Oh,
don't
for
think they're going
sure.
to be terrible.
No, I think their
They
lineup's
had
gonna be
a
good.
very rough start,
Yeah. I mean, it's
but
the defending AL champs.
and
And boy,
I
that
know
pitching
going into the
staff.
season, I wasn't so worried about the starters as so the bullpen, but those starters really showed.
When
They
you
showed
have
up.
starters that are that good and they can go that deep into a game, it really doesn't matter. The bullpen just has to be good enough, right?
Yep, that's exactly, and that's Cease, his debut, struck out 12,
Yeah.
and
Gosman
I think
struck
what
out what, 11?
Gosman struck out 11, and I think what Cease threw, did he throw 6 and a third or 5 and
I'm not quite sure how many he got through, but then Lauer even had 10 strikeouts in the third game.
Lauer, that came out of nowhere. That guy's a contact thrower.
He is,
And
but his fastball was looking good. He was picking his spots. He's not going to overpower anyone, but when he's using all the pitches, he got strikeouts with the fastball up. That was a problem last year. He couldn't throw the fastball in the zone because it only reaches about 93, 94. So,
yep,
but yeah, great weekend for the Jays. Not a good weekend for the Athletics, but we've had good weekends for some other players too. Well, we can start off with Akimoto since we're talking about the Jays. What have you thought so far?
I'm honestly beyond impressed on Nakamoto. I know a lot of people were worried about him not being able to touch the MLB fastball. I I mean he saw 100 miles an hour and he was ahead of it. I mean it didn't seem like he was going to be overpowered by that
No,
like everyone once thought.
no, he hit a fastball 110 miles an hour into Oppo right center
Yep.
for a home run.
That's
So we'll take that.
and just continuing, I mean, I'm going to go on just on a Murakami.
Yeah,
He showed that he wasn't going to be overpowered either. I think did he have two home runs?
three, one in every game.
One in every game. So I mean, I I think that when I think everyone was worried the players from Korea and Japan that they were going to not be able to adjust to the MLB. I think a lot of them are proving that they'll be just fine.
And I will say the Murakami home runs all came on fastballs, but they were all below 93 miles an hour. So the 95 plus velocity that teams were worried about hasn't been seen yet. But let's be honest, not every guy's throwing 95 plus. So like
No,
I don't think it's going to be a huge concern. It'll just be a question on, when he does face a Mason Miller or a starter who's throwing 95 every fa plus every fastball, like how he handles that.
I was just gonna say, you said not everyone's gonna throw 95. Well, I'm gonna add on. I'm gonna tell you someone that does throw 90, averaging 98 miles per hour. He threw 68 pitches, threw 68 fastballs. 60 of his 68 averaged 98 miles per hour. That's Cam Schlittler from the
Yeah, he looked
Yankees.
disgusting. He he went through what, five and a third, one hit.
He threw five and a third and allowed just one hit.
Yeah. Yeah, he looks disgusting. Not
Well,
looking
while
forward
we're
to
on
that.
pitching, the Dodgers bullpen, they found their turnaround from 2025 where they struggled. They started 2026 not allowing a run in 11 and two-thirds innings.
Yeah, it's disgusting. Dodgers look good. It looks like all the teams that looked good last year are looking good again this year, which isn't too surprising. The Dodgers look good. The Blue Jays look good. The Yankees look good. I think the Mariners, Cal Raleigh has struggled. We went
Yeah,
and
I
watched
don't.
him in the WBC. I think he had like 8 strikeouts this weekend or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Cal. I mean, he's not. We know he's going to strike out, but he's going to also give you a home run
Yeah.
at least in a weekend. I don't know if he didn't hit one this weekend.
No, I don't think he has a hit.
That's. I mean, I don't think Mariners fans have to worry. I think he's going to figure it out. But Brendan Donovan, that was a good pickup.
Yeah, he's a stud. He's a stud. I think the Mariners will be fine, but yeah, all the teams who, were projected to do well have started the season off well. Obviously, we're only 3 games in out of 162, but
Yeah, and I think everyone's happy to see Mike Trout maybe back.
Mike Trout's back. He's back. 2 homers. His swing speed is up from last year, which is, what you're looking to see.
Let's see. Trout is starting the season hitting 462
Let's
with an
go
on
with two
base on
homers.
yeah, and an OPS of 923.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome. He had a swing with a bat speed of 84.9 miles per hour on a single. The average bat speed in 2025 was 74. So 10 miles an hour above the average bat speed in the MLB. Trout still got it. You just hope he can stay healthy now.
that's the thing with Trout. You never know. You hope he can.
Yeah.
What about Mr. Skeens starting the year?
Yeah, I don't really know how to feel about it. Um, I think he'll obviously come back and be fine. We saw him pitch in the WBC. He looked good already this year. I think he did get a little unlucky. Some of those balls in play have a pretty low expected batting average, so I think the it will regress back to typical Skeens. But I will say during our prediction video, I did say this would be his first year with above a 2 ERA. And that is holding
He
true through the first game of the
he,
season.
he is well above a 2
He's
ERA
at a
right now.
67 ERA currently.
67.5 ERA. He
Yeah.
had seven strikeouts. No, no, no. That
No,
wasn't right. He only no, no, no.
he only threw one.
Scratch that. He only threw one out.
Yeah.
Or did he get two?
I'm not sure how many outs he ended up getting, but he did not make it through into the second inning, I know for sure.
Well, okay, he did. He pitched two-thirds,
Yep.
and I think there were some defensive issues. I think
There
some of
was an
those.
O'Neal defensive issue. Um,
eh,
I know after the first game he had, 2 runs above -2 runs saved. O'Neal did in
yeah,
center field. He misread a fly ball. He took a step forward and it ended up going over his head for two quote unquote earned runs for Skeens, which is unfortunate for him, but he ended up redeeming himself a bit later in the weekend with a few good plays. So we'll see how that plays out though.
um. Well, what about the new ABS thing? Should we talk about that?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about, we already kind of talked about how there's been some arguments about whether the call was delayed or not. We saw Randy Rosarena take a few steps down the line, taking his equipment off because he thought it was a walk. He got rung up, challenged the call, continues to walk down the first base line because he's so confident that it's going to get overturned, and it did get overturned by about a half an inch, not even. So some cockiness by Rosarena, but that call, the umpire accepted that call, which was a little delayed. I know in the spring training, Kevin Biggio attempted to make a call similar where he flipped his bat because he thought it was a walk, and they did not let him challenge it because they said it wasn't immediate enough. So just two
All right.
different umpires making different calls, which you don't like to see early with a rule change.
I was just gonna say, I think we're gonna need to get some consistency around the league with what is going to be accepted, what isn't going to be accepted, because then you have an instance where Derek Shelton goes and argues and he gets tossed.
And I do think on that one, after watching Ryan Helsley play it back, he did touch his head pretty immediately, but the ump wasn't looking.
Yeah.
I don't think many pitchers have made ABS challenges yet, so maybe the umpire wasn't looking at the pitcher and he was looking at the catcher or Josh Bell walking down the first baseline. But they didn't see the challenge. The call was made late, which I think was on the umpire, not Ryan Helsley. But yeah, that will definitely create some arguments with managers.
Well, I'm just gonna so umpire overturns. Umpire Chad Whitson had 7 to 7 challenges, 100% overturned in the
Yeah,
opening days.
not a good look.
The worst challenge, sorry, Reed, was by Minnesota's Matt Wallner, who
Oh, I
challenged a
saw that one.
pitch that was 4.8 inches inside the strike zone.
You hate to see that. You hate to use up a challenge on a strikeout that I don't even think it was a high leverage situation. He just kind of wasted it and struck out, which I think he will see the red light be put on by some managers. Like, okay, you're not allowed, no longer allowed to make ABS challenges in these situations. But it's certainly interesting, and there's going to be some gamesmanship that's developed by teams. We'll see which teams can best utilize it. But
How many challenges does a team get? It's unlimited if they keep getting them right,
yep, you
correct?
get two challenges per game, each team, and then if you get it right, you don't lose it.
Okay.
But we have seen two challenges go down the drain in one inning.
Well, let's
So
see how the challenge ABS is shaping up for the weekend.
54% overall t overturn rate. There was 175 attempts. 94 of those were overturned, which is 54%. 81 upheld. The catcher has by far the best success rate, which we kind of assumed was going to happen at 64%. The batters have 42% success rate, and pitchers have 40% success rate. And who would have thought the best success rate is Salvador Perez going 4 for 4?
The guy knows ball.
As far as umpire impact, CB Buckner had 6 of 8 challenges overturned in one game. Or sorry, yeah, that is in one game. Um, but you were asking about how many challenges. There's the an average of 3.7 challenges per game so far.
That's, it doesn't slow the game down. I mean, they
No,
get that in there quick. I mean, everyone likes this faster paced game that the MLB's brought. I like it. I didn't think I would.
I like
And
it as
now that
well.
these ABS, I mean, it doesn't slow it down. It's I honestly liked watching these guys. It's a 3-2 count. They start walking down. It's called a ball, and then all of a sudden the catcher challenges it, and he has to walk right back. I find that pretty fascinating sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, so we were talking about CB Buckner. It was Eugenio Suarez who was punched out twice, and both of the calls were overturned. And the Reds play-by-play man, John Sadak, said that it was the loudest cheers of the game when the AVS got overturned, which is awesome. It creates a new element of excitement for fans. And
Yeah,
I haven't been to a game yet this season, but apparently the way they're showing it on the big screen and announcing it, the fans in person love it, as well as the people who are watching from home on TV.
I'm wondering if they use the same like that. I've watched plenty of baseball this weekend where they show it on TV. I wonder if it's the same thing on the big screen.
I think it is. Yep. I think it is.
Yeah,
But
it's gonna be fun. I'm excited for this ABS. I think it's gonna be a good thing for baseball. It's gonna make it more true, which I mean, sometimes you don't want it to be. Sometimes the ball goes a certain way. I don't think it'll be ultimately good though.
Yeah,
You want people to either want to have the bat in their hand or give the pitcher the benefit when they clip a zone.
correct. Yeah, the other interesting thing that I saw was there was a pitch that Gosman threw, and he kind of pulled a fastball that was supposed to be located outside, and it catches the inside of the plate. And that's normally a call that pitchers and catchers aren't getting because it's not where the catcher was set up. But
Yep.
then Alejandro Kirk knew that it was still a strike, even though it wasn't where the pitch was intended to be, and they got the strike on it. So I think it just creates a different dynamic of the catcher still being able to get away with a missed location.
Speaking of Kirk, are the Blue Jays going to be the best team at ABS with Kirk behind the dish?
I think the Royals will be really good with Salvi, and I think the Giants also will be good with Patrick Bailey.
Yep.
Those three are kind of my predictions for best ABS success rate for catchers. But yeah, I think Patrick Bailey got a few right too in the first game that I watched, opening night.
To go back on the Blue Jays, how are we feeling about two walk-off wins back-to-back nights?
Yeah, it's scary for sure. But that's what happened last season too. They just found a way to get it done when they needed to.
I
I've loved Andres Menace so far. He's been
yes,
looking really good.
he's been looking really good. I hate to see that we're walking off against the A's, but at the same time, what were they down? Two, three in that
Two,
second game?
yep. The first one was two. Second game was more, I think.
I think it might have been three. They grinded to get back in these games, and they end up winning in extras. Like that's just the Blue Jays. I mean, they have some of those big names, but they're just a bunch of grinders.
Yeah, they're scrappy for sure. The first
I
game,
love seeing it.
you only allow two runs. You expect to win that game, and they end up winning it. And again, it's the first few games of the season. I think teams are still finding their swings, but we've seen some teams get off to hot starts. I wanted to talk about Chase DeLauter, who has hit 4 home runs in the first 3 games. One of them on a high and outside fastball that he takes to opposite field. One of the craziest swings that we've seen so far. JJ Weatherholt hits a walk-off for the Cardinals. Kevin McConaughey looks fantastic for the Tigers. I think he hit a walk-off. And then Carson Bench had a good start to the season with a home run. And Sal Stewart looks good too. Could this be the best rookie class since 2022 when we had Julio Rodriguez, Stephen Kwan, Adley Rutschman, Michael Harris, Jeremy Pena, Bobby Witt, Perdomo, Riley Green, CJ Abrams, Vinny Pasquantino. I mean, a stacked rookie class in 22. But so far, this one's holding their own.
I was gonna say I'm excited to see what these guys can do throughout a whole year. I mean,
Yeah.
we have the Bobby Witt, the Julios. We have those guys that have etched themselves inside like some of baseball's best.
Yes.
Um, I was high on McGonagall like right away. I don't know. That guy just showed something right away where I thought that he was gonna be good. He's come out and prove it. I mean, Chase DeLauter, like he said, he's batting 353, 4 home runs, 6 hits. I mean, well, we have
We haven't even mentioned Murakami and Akamoto, who are technically rookies this season.
yes. I mean, Akamoto, he's not doing like he's not putting up the big numbers. He's batting 333, has 4 hits. I mean, he has 1 home run.
Yeah. He also
But I
had the
mean,
first 2 runs in the game where they ended up winning 3-2. So just giving
yep.
the team a boost right off the rip. And his defense has been great so far. I know that was a slight concern for some people.
Yeah, and that's I know I didn't know what to expect from Okamoto over at third. Murakami, 333, 3 home runs, 3 RBIs. His
And
three
three
hits are
walks.
3 home runs.
I think
Yep.
he's the first rookie to start opening weekend with a walk and a home run in each game.
Well, how did the White Sox win a game? So the White Sox got swept by the Brewers.
Okay, so they did not win a game, but Murakami looks good,
Yep. Yeah, Murakami looks good. I
which
mean,
was kind of expected. I think the White Sox, they have improved. I think they're going to be a fun team to watch, not necessarily a good team.
they gave up 20. to get 29 runs and they scored 10.
Colson Montgomery hit a grand slam.
He's gonna be good.
Yeah, I think that team is a fun team to watch. Like you said, they just give up too many runs.
Yeah, they don't have the pitching.
Yep. And they're playing the Marlins
They play
today,
them.
who started 3 and
Yep.
0. Owen Casey with a big home run, a walk-off 2-run home run. So that
Owen Casey might be another. He a rookie?
I don't think he's considered a rookie. I think he played too many games last year
Okay.
for the Cubs. But
So
some other rookies who have seen time last year include Nolan McLean, Bubba Chandler, Connolly Early, Samuel Basallo, Trey Savage, Carter Jensen, Dylan Beavers, and Moises Baestros. So those are some of the
so
rookies that we've already seen a little bit of.
the Marlins won 3 games, not to shock anyone, against the Rockies.
Yes,
I mean, they were it was a 2-1 game, 4-3 game, and a 4-3 game.
correct. I don't think the Marlins are blowing anyone out of
I,
the water with that series, but promising considering the season they had last year.
let's see. How did the NL or AL East shape up this weekend?
The Red Sox lost 2 to the Reds. The Yankees went 3 and 0.
The Orioles went 2-1 against the Twins.
That was to be expected.
Yeah, the Twins still can't. Well, they did put a game of 6 and 4, but that'll be interesting. That'll be an interesting team. Blue Jays 3-0, Yankees 3-0,
Yeah, it's gonna be
Red
a
Sox
it's
one
gonna
and
be a good
two,
division.
Orioles 2-1.
Yep,
Forgetting.
yep.
Oh no, who am I forgetting?
The Rays.
The Rays. Yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna be a playoff team this year. So, but you can never count them out. They always put up good seasons, even with the low payroll. They're in
so
last place.
The Rays got they're 1-2 as well.
Yeah, and they play the Brewers this series. So
Brewers are gonna be tough.
yeah, Brewers are good. Brewers are good. Yelich maybe will bounce back season after hitting another home run early.
Yep.
That ball
What about
was smoked.
the Mets? Dropped one to the Pirates.
The Mets looked good though. Carson Bench looks good. Lou Bob looks really good. Luis Robert Jr. And then Bichette with a few errors at third. Who would have thought?
I would have never guessed that. Not like we
And
called that one before the
I
season
think he had
started.
8 strikeouts this series.
Let's go take a look. I watched a little bit of him day one just because I wanted to see how he's doing. I wasn't rooting against the guy, but I was rooting against the guy.
He has 1 hit in 14 at bats.
He
He
has
has
eight
eight
strikeouts.
strikeouts, and he did have a sac fly in opening night,
Yeah, he does
but
have yeah, he does have one RBI.
not a good start for Boshed.
And you said a couple errors fielding wise.
I believe there was 2 or 3. Um, he had a few throws that pulled the first baseman off the bag, runner side. One of them he got tagged. One of them the first baseman did get a tag off, but there were a few that I know he did not get a tag on.
He has 3 games played. He has 4 putouts, 7 attempts. He has technically one error.
Yeah,
His fielding percentage is 917 right now.
yeah. Um, I think the first baseman bailed him out on 1 or 2 of them, but yeah, kind of to be expected. Changing to a new position when the guy was bottom of the league and defensive stats at shortstop.
Is he DHing?
He played third all 3 games, I believe.
They only have him down for 10 innings at third.
Really? I know he played the entire first game at third. Maybe they did DH him the next 2. I only watched the opening game for the Mets.
Yeah,
It's
that's huh. Well, I think we kind of expected Bo Bichette not to be a third baseman.
No, they've got him in for 30 innings.
Okay, so I
So
don't
they
know
must
why
have went
that
to extras.
Yeah, I don't know why they have or why it only had 10 on Fox Sports.
Yeah, I'm looking on Baseball
Um,
Reference.
let's see here.
He only has one error though, so
So he got bailed out.
I know he got bailed on at least one of them. But
What about the Tigers? How are the Tigers looking?
McConaughey's looked really
McConaughey,
good, and he had
I
hit a
know
walk off. I know. So
Tigers took 2 out of 3 from the Padres. That's that doesn't really surprise me, I guess, because I think the Tigers are gonna be top notch. So we have Scooble, 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, 6 strikeouts.
solid start, not the usual Scoople.
I mean, against the Padres team, they're
Yeah,
pretty.
that is true.
I mean, they have a solid lineup through and through.
Yeah,
I think the Tigers are gonna be dangerous. They're gonna be really
yeah, I think
dangerous.
they're going to be good too. I think the Scooble trade rumors are going to get put to rest when they're leading the division for pretty much the entire year. So, all right, some good conversations about opening weekend. I got one question before we go. Um, as I start going to some Twins games next month, is it disrespectful to stay seated during the seventh inning stretch?
I think that's un-American.
Okay. Um, I never stand up for it. And I know the purpose is to like, stand up, stretch out a little bit, sing along with the fans, but I'm up and walking around between innings, whether I'm going to the concession stand to get another brew or, getting food, going to the bathroom. I don't think it's necessary for me to stand up during the
Do, do
seventh inning
you
stretch.
do you not feel like alone just sitting
Oh, I
there watching
absolutely do.
everyone's?
And I'd rather be feeling alone than stand up and sing along with the rest of the crowd.
All right, you heard it here on the Platoon Baseball Podcast. Jesse is un-American.
Yeah, I figured that was going to be the case. We'll have to ask Chris and Reed when they come back on, but so far I have one person who who told me to stand up during that. So we'll see. I'll let you know what I end up doing when I go to the games. Maybe I'll feel obligated now to stand up.
There will be plenty of sitting. Well, depends who you're rooting for when the Twins are playing, because you won't have much to stand up and cheer for, I don't think.
Well, I'll probably still be rooting for the Twins until the Blue Jays series, which starts in early May at Target Field. I'll be at that one of those games at least. So
I gotta try to make it out there.
yeah, see
Let's
you
get
there,
some.
hopefully.
Hopefully, I can get some time off.
All right. Well, this has been a abbreviated episode of the Platoon Baseball Podcast. Follow us on the socials, and we'll be back next week with the normal cast of characters.